And I will introduce myself. I'm Věra Královaà. I'm coming from Czech Republic. I am assistant professor at the Prague University of Economics and Business. And also I am business analyst certified CBAP. And right now I'm coming a little bit back to BA community after my studies to really bring some new explanation what's going on our projects, what's really impacts us that we do not know about, and what situation we have to solve, we have to kind of think about. And I find out that the time is playing a big role, not only in the projects, but also in our life. So if we are bringing like human in the organization or in the projects, we are bringing our perspective on the world and also our perspective of time towards to the organization when we want to really build something new or just to operate something to deliver some services. So today I will go through the journey with you, just a little taste of what time is doing in our lives and how unaware about the situation is impacting us in our practice. So first we will go a little bit about the time in general, just to understand, because there is a lot of interpretation what time really is. It's artificial concept. It's not natural. It's not something that we can touch. And there is a lot of discussion in the academic field, in the business, in philosophies, in physics already. And it starts to move a little bit to accept that the time, like the future, present, and past, it's on one moment. So now it's challenging the point of view that everything is in linear mode. Now it's coming the time that people from different fields are starting to discuss that it's not only linear, but much more influence is that what's really now and how these perspectives are really impacting us right now. So we will go through time to perspectives, then we will really focus on the future, what really the future is for us and mean for us. And when we capture the time, how we can think about it, then we will move a little bit to the way how we can work with the future, and especially how we can work with the future and in the BA practice, how we can just reflectively understand the practices that are already at the place, some tools that we are using because we were learned and we are experimenting with them. So how these tools can be seen through the perspective of time. So this is just the introductory to be able to really all the time to know where we are, because we cannot start at the end, because we really need to start from the basics. Okay, so right now I will just raise the question for you in online and for us. It's about the way, what's really the time for you? How you can imagine about time? What does it mean for you, the time? We can just write there some way how you feel, work with time. What's time for you? So we can post the question to the chat, but also we can start the discussion.
I read an interesting headline today, something that psychologists say that now is 3 seconds long.
Now. That's cool.
I don't know, I didn't read the article, I know it's interesting at least.
Yeah, okay. So
I don't think time is complicated, but measuring time can be complicated, and defining time zones.
measure time zones. I love time zones because I'm lost in this recounting what time is there and there. So I need to hold time. Okay.
Definition of work in real time. What is
what's real time?
You do measurement and it is already on the same time.
So measurement is the real time.
It's relative, actually.
Excuse me?
It's also relative.
Relative. Relative. Okay.
Yes,
Sorry, go ahead.
okay. I would kind of describe it as the difference, meaning that usually time, we see how things evolve. And I think that's kind of the perspective where we started thinking about what is time. Usually, like an older person, you can touch them, so you can kind of feel time because you can feel them. But now things don't age at the same rate or anything, but it's kind of a difference that you can see an evolution.
Evolution, so we can call it progress.
Yeah.
So this is what's used for this meme.
Or decay.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Hopefully
the
not.
same. As time advances, maybe it's decay instead of progress.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everything is temporary.
Or it can be like stagnant, but usually you can observe change.
So this symbol, it's being like delta, so
Yeah.
probably it's like what?
Perception of time. How you feel, like temperature, you feel cold,
Oh,
it is not
okay.
the same, and the same speed of time evaluated and felt is differently by different people.
I have a couple of interesting notions online as well. So essential and irreversible. Essential, time is essential, and it's also irreversible. I'm pretty sure that physicians can have a very interesting debate about it.
I hope that there is not a lot of physicians. I don't know. I haven't studied that of the physics.
Yeah,
But
I have the song by the Rolling Stones, Time is on my side. You, Alicia, mentioned about the ability to touch time, because
Yeah.
you can touch people and you can see how they have evolved. And there is someone, Lisa, that says it's the most precious thing, but we cannot touch it. And we often forget how valuable it is. So yeah, it's
it's
an indirect way of touching it.
kind of like saying you can't touch knowledge, but you can touch books. You can touch a wise person. So it's like,
Time flies when you're having fun.
yes, it flies.
It's about
Times,
and perception of the flow, perception of the flow.
time is a great equalizer.
Oh.
That's a quote, but I forget the context.
Will die.
Ah,
I don't know. It's a great equalizer. I mean, everybody has the same all the time. But,
Okay. Cool.
You cannot manage time. Although we have a lot of time management.
Yeah, I like that point because there is also a discussion about the field of time management. But some psychologists start to really discuss we cannot manage time because it's not under our control. We can only manage self. So
Yeah.
it's self-management, not time management, much more.
Mhm.
So yeah, I like this one.
I have more interesting,
You can use it. Yeah.
I have more comments online at the number of heartbeats.
Sorry, too. Kind of.
The element over which change occurs. It's relative, it depends on the situation. Something you cannot recycle. It's the fourth dimension.
Not yet.
well, it is cyclical.
It's cyclical, but not recyclable.
Yeah, cyclical.
Interesting.
What is the crash?
And the fact that you mentioned it's cyclical
ancient
links
Greek
with
perspective.
the ancient Greek perspective. Arthur says an ancient Greek was thinking about time, and he uses the word kairos, used 86 times in the New Testament, which refers to an opportune time, a moment, or a season such as harvest time. And chronos, used 54 times, refers to a specific amount of time, a day, an hour. So two ways of viewing time, the moment and the duration, kairos and chronos.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's the right duration, the pace, and also distance.
Mhm.
It's interesting one that was like from the physics because they are counting the distance in the light years. So for us, kind of difficult to understand why years, but definitely it has the nice reason for it. So if we can see there is many ways how we can really work with the time. What's the really time in our projects? Most often how we usually work with this concept.
we work with current situation and future situation.
So meaning current.
If you're working in simulations, you can revert time, you can control time, you can do a lot of things.
You can simulate, yes.
And future.
In our simulator, we have a module which is called time control. And it's replacing the time of the computer.
Ah.
With this time control, we can restart the simulation, stop at a given time, change the conditions, restart the simulations, and
But-
validate new solutions, new concepts.
But time did go by still when restarting the simulation, so it's still kind of, even though you restart the simulation with kind of the same or slightly different parameters or something, it's still done at a different time with people with a different times, like a mindset at the moment, so it's like still kind of influenced though.
Why do you want to do a simulation in another day or month or year? Do you want to see how are you testing a program when you do that?
Now we are testing solutions. So we imagine solutions, we define all the criteria, we are working with flight plans, we inject flights, and we run the simulations, and we validate the solution, or we invalidate the solution according to the situation.
The same for insurance.
We are doing this every day.
It brings us to also have this in databases and data management. You have, when you go back in the past, you have how your database looked like at certain moments, so like a snapshot, roll back indeed, and how your data should have looked like. Meaning if you have more correct data, which is higher quality, you may be making corrections how things were in the past, but I don't have our database pattern. So two different timelines.
Definitely, there will be. Usually, it's the time. It's many layers. Right now, what's going on? It depends what we are doing. But the most thing was the pressure and the tension that you can think what's coming from the customers or with the flight, that we know that it has to be really on time.
And in fact, time has been invented by the train.
Yeah.
It's when the train appeared that we had to synchronize the time between villages.
Yeah, there were why the time zones were established. And it changed the world a little bit. Yeah, so timing. So when we go to our BA practice, usually we are limited by the project, by the deadlines, by the milestone. Sometimes it's the deadlines are nicely approximation that they can fit and we still can deliver the solution till the deadline, but sometimes it's not very well done. And usually from some research, there is known that when we are doing something really new, some new design or some new solution, that we are very bad with the approximation of time, how long we will need for a new task that we do not know how to capture. And they find out that it's almost once more time for the new solution. So if we are used to do some project for 20 man days, usually when something new comes, it seems similar, but there is many different connections. It needs different constraints. It's definitely almost for sure that will be twice long the project. So this is the way how we can really think about time. And especially the point of time, what's big discussion right now in the academics, but also in the business, in the physics, that they really challenge this linearity. Like now we have this 3 seconds. Now there was past, there is the future. What's happening usually in every picture, we are used to write past on the left with the direction, with all this graph, with this all economics models of demand and supply, and all this stuff is established on the linearity of the time. And it was believed previously that we have the past, after that we have the present, and after that we have the future. The Newtonian perspective was established based on determinism. That means that what was in the past will shift and influence our presence. So maybe I'm not sure how much it's about the physics. This is not the field, but from the psychology point of view, it's a very big deal because currently, usually people start in the childhood and they are really a lot of experience, nice, but also wrong. that they are impacting our way how we think about next experience, what's the trauma. Someone is good with that, okay, I can go further, but someone it's really some painful situation. The determinism is a good way how to think. However, it brings a lot of problems right now in psychology and with the young people. And also it's visible with the topic of typologies, like Myers-Briggs typology, all these kind of psychological typologies that we can use with the students and with the people. And usually people think that all these typologies is like, okay, so I am like this. So they think it's their identity. Okay, so I am this inferior or different kind of types. But the effect of this determinism is like that past determines our present. And usually the people tend to identify with the uniqueness of the typology, which is ideal state. It's not like true what's happening. And it kind of limits for these people to really move and to change something because they trust that, okay, so I'm this, so okay, so I cannot change because it's my way of working. So if we take this linearity, there is strong relation between past and present, but also there is strong connection between present and future. As like in psychology view and also in the research, they show that present has a tendency to extend to future. So it's much more obvious in our life, but also in organization, that they are just projecting the present toward the future. So what's now, they can shift just a little piece because they still hold all the back with themselves to really make a little move. And sometimes it's very, very difficult to really get moving. So it could be taken personally, how I can move if I just want to do next move. Where is the change? Where is the trigger? How can I change the situation? If it's really from the direction to present to future, it's very, very energy demanding. Okay, so this is at the beginning to understand what's going on, and on the project, usually in organization, we are operating in this mode. Then when we are in the present, we are approximating the project that we think that it will take 30 mandates, and somewhere in the future we will start with the kickoff, or maybe later with the kickoff and continue with the project. So usually we work in this linear space. What I want to show or just give some kind of taste of the time at this workshop is about to challenge this linear perspective and offer another view how we can see what's possible. However, it's not natural for people to think in that mode because it's like more than hundreds of years that's really is going on in this mode. So right now we will skip to first task that we have prepared for you. And the first task before I will speak about time perspectives is the common point what the business analysts have really in common, where they always find the like common topic to discuss.
Common pain.
Common being?
Common pain.
Pain, oh yeah, pain. Yeah, there is a lot of like pains like this. It's in many levels, like managerial level and with the deadlines that I saw a lot. There are some other issues. So cool, a lot of juicy notes. Okay. I'm really looking for this exercise, what will come up. So now we are waiting for the finishing the online.
I think what
Everyone is back.
on our side is the time as a very precious resource and the cause of many tensions, and not only because time is money, but also because there's things like deadlines and task execution time is on top of it.
Because we experience time only as a limitation, as an enemy.
So you can see how much or
how many of these topics are really, we are just living in the world. So it's usually this chronos.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, sometimes problems go away by themselves.
Yeah.
And some problems, if you do not take care of them, they solve themselves too.
So times brings wisdom as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, but what is the concept when you, it's in the physicist concept, it's not inertia, when everything goes to chaos? Entropy. Yes, time is also entropy.
Yeah.
We consider time as entropy too. Because if you don't do anything about it, then you are afraid that
It's just
doing
by themselves.
Okay.
Okay, so what I would like to continue with, that we did the past, and now we would like to mention the fact that now maybe it's a question for you if you try to make this questionnaire about the time perspectives, but let's try it. So if you did the same, when we were promoting, there was the questionnaire for the Zimbabwe's time perspective survey, where you can take the survey and you will find out how you are, what's your relationship with the past, with the present, and with the future. And I think it's very interesting survey that you can find out what really the dominant perspective that influence all your decisions, all your actions, and we can continue. So if we know this questionnaire, there is the structure of the positive past and negative past. Positive past is something that we really like to remember, all this occasion with the family, some fun, some parties, something that we like to be and remember. So the pictures, and we really remembering nice time. In the positive, that's the positive. On the negative side, it's our traumas, our bad experience that probably we do not want to remember at all. And it highly influences our decisions. The present, we have, so this is like negative, positive. The present, it's much more interesting because it's always, at any moment, it's like these 3 seconds, continually evolving. And we have hedonistic and fatalistic presence. Nice names.
Yeah.
It's kind of really is like that. And for the future, we have then future and transcendental future that I will explain. So if we go to present, it means that hedonistic is about the pleasure. So we are looking how to spend nice time with family, with fun, to really enjoy whatever place that we would like to travel. But it does mean that we would like to avoid any tension. We would like to just accept only good. So we divide it just way how we can live life. So we do not want to have bad things. Really are not allowing bad situation to come into our life. Fatalistic means that in the present we think that anything matters. So we stop to have hope for the future, for something nice. We think that it's not necessary to think about tomorrow. It's also about the way that we do not want to plan. Also, hedonistic people doesn't want to plan because they think that it's not necessary. But the fatalistic is something that's going on now in many countries with the young people. There is a lot of suicide, and it's about that they are living in this hedonistic and fatalistic presence that all are in the extreme level. So what's about this theory is that the first paradox of the Zimbabwe's time perspective is that the time impacts our behavior, our actions, our decision, almost any time, and it's situational. That's why we were trying to really find out the situation where we are under power of this time pressure of the present. That's usually it's fatalistic. The more like the pressures and the situation, it looks like that it has no solution, no future. And on the opposite side, it's hedonistic. And if we are in too big excess of hedonistics, it means that we really want just to enjoy the life. We doesn't want to plan. We avoid everything what's possible. And it's a current danger for our society right now, because all the products are made to have like comfortable life. And for many young people, it's a challenge because they really do not see what's their place, what they can do, because we have everything. They have all comfortable space. They are not used to really have some challenge and solve the challenging situations. So this is about the present, how it can be perceived. And then we have the future. Mistakes here. So the future is about the scales that we can have future, but also we probably do not have any future. So it scales from no future, where it's somewhere here, up to absolute visionary people who are really, really like 50 years ahead from us. And in the excess of these visionary people who are planning, who can see the things that we are not able to really imagine, these people in this excess could be very dangerous, because they could create things that we are not really to really start to live with them. So it's some healthy stuff to be in between, to really have some future and to really find a way how we can really touch with the future. Because when we were speaking with this direction, the potential and the good thing, also from the psychology point of view, also from the people who survived the Second World War, it was that many people, like with this situation, they are looking for the meaning of the life, they are searching and trying many things, but it doesn't help, because they are going this way, and it's not that easy to really find something like that. And what Viktor Frankl, it was psychiatric, who survived Second World War, it was that we really need to decide what our future will be. So it means that we really need to find out by themselves, by ourselves, what we want as the future, to be able to find a way how, which direction or which paths will get us to the better future that we will have to imagine, and we have to get further to that future state. So transcendental future, it's much more about the beliefs, religion, and in extreme, it's again that we think that this life is not the life at all. The life is starting when we die. Again, there is some spirituality. Again, if it's like in the excess, it's too much. But this workshop is much more connected with the future, how we really think about it. If we have some vision, what we would like to taste or develop, to do by person or to do like organization, and how we can handle it. So now, this is like short introduction. Some of you did the survey, you did some reading through the promo that Philip was doing. And now you can go back to your situations and you can just reflect where you are. If it's really connected and dominant perspective is the past for the situation, or if it's really connected with the present, or if it's really connected with the future. And what we can see, I will be moving here, maybe also with Philip. If we are thinking about the deadlines and pressure from the chrono time, it means that we are operating in the future, but the negative consequence. So it's again much more positive, how I can do, what steps to do, but the environments, it's much more close to present. and they are trying and pushing the future for the deadlines, and working with time is not the profession.
The ideal state that the typology, as we said, there is nothing like ideal state, but for the perspective, it's not like typology for the specific point of view. However, in a time perspective theory, it means that we have like these 6 different perspectives, and it's a balancing state. So if we are somewhere low on the scale with this negative past, try to develop nice relationship with the past, then try to reduce this fatalistic view. However, not to be that much on the hedonistic, really to just enjoy the time and everything, to accept that there could be some challenges, because challenges are making us more resilient, more thoughtful, and more mature. To be somewhere in the future, not too much, not too little. There is also the discussion about the prediction, about deadlines, about time pressure, and these all relates to really the future, how to manage the future. But most of us, and there is a transcendental to have it somewhere not too far on the scale, because we wouldn't live here, but probably somewhere else. So this is some kind of optimal, balanced perspective. It's about our view, how we can handle, and now we can reflect many situations when we are, and solving the situation if we are in the negative, and we find out that we are in the regret and in the sad situation. So we can develop the way how to really make it more possible, find the way what's really valuable on this situation. So there are the ways in this theory how to really move from this negative perceiving of time to better or positive or this hedonistic view, also to develop some kind of future for us and for the organization. What I wanted to mention further, it's about the future itself, because it's a concept that it's too challenging for the design people or for business people, business analyst people. It's like that for us, it's much more natural to really operate in the future. But the quest is for us, if we operate in this negative sense, like this pressure, and we see that there could be potential solution, but the people cannot capture it. So it's about our way, how we can accommodate to speak with people. For example, if they are much more about the future at the low level, because they are more traditional, they accept some traditions, they know they are working, for example, in service, there's much more about to make the service, to serve the people right now in the moment. They are working in this cycle, they do not have to think that much about the future, because they are repeating what they were used to be, what they used to do, and really value some traditional values of the world. So this is the biggest challenges, maybe also for us, how to really speak with people who are either dominant in the past or present, because they really do not have cognitive capacities to really capture our plans, our visions, our way of working. So maybe quest for us is about how to make the future not that big for them, but to make them like possible and potential way how they can really develop the future. The same is also with these young people without the future. It's not to really impose on them what you can do and what you can be, but really make the small steps to really make one more step, because it's very hard to really shift the mind and operate differently, because it's very experienced way, and we really need to reflect a lot of situations to move and to build and to really decide for our own future. Well, with this future, I have another things for you. I have some concepts, and I will have the question, what does it mean for you? So what's really connected with the future and has a huge impact on us? It's this shoots. And you can reflect how many shoots you have in your mind, how you operate every day. So what I should do. Then next week, how many shoots you have really in your mind. So you can just think, reflect. For me, it's that I have a lot of shoots. There is definitely shoots in the business part, in the work, in the family, in the wider family, or to do, to feed and there is a lot of things. So that is about the future. The question is how you handle your shoots, how you can bear the pressure, also from the work, from the deadline. I should do this. This multitasking is the exact situation about I should do this. So, excuse me?
Prioritizing.
Yes.
Prioritizing. Yeah. Okay.
But doesn't that make it, if you prioritize, you kind of make an effort of like making it maybe linear in some way of like, this is the most important, I do it now. Then next, whereas maybe there is a better way of like interconnecting our shoulds in an efficient way of like, I should do this, but also this. I can combine it in a different sense instead of like procrastinating the rest and prioritizing.
Yes. Procrastinating is here, but where does shoots come from? They are definitely coming in your way, it's the present, but more often they are coming from the past. Are used to do some situation, and some people are really looking at us that we should do this, so we learn that I should do this, but probably it's not necessary for me to be the priority. If you mention the priority, the moment that we have the future, we are nicely, without emotion, connected with the way how we will prioritize. The moment we are missing the future, we will never prioritize in the same way. Like one day, then the second day, there will be changing priorities all the time. So it's much more the situation with the prioritization. If we know where we are heading, what's the direction, it's very easy to prioritize. If we do not know where we are heading, we will prioritize any moment, any situation, and it's kind of chaotic way, and it's hard to progress.
Here is coming in such case of this evolution, Canadian framework. The Dave Snowden.
Yeah.
Dave Snowden.
Dave Snowden.
Canadian.
Yes.
Not familiar with.
Yeah, I think that you will know it. But it's the word that has to be different. I will write it afterwards.
Yeah.
So this is should. Then you have the same version. It's like have to or must. It's nice. The must comes from the authority that I have to or must to do it. And then there is another concept. It's ought to. And it's interesting that it's used in design. However, the point with the ought to is that someone has to decide the future, which is right. And again, the moment we know the future, we ought to do some things to get to the future. So there are things that definitely are inside of us, and we operate through these tasks, many of them. So maybe you can reflect during the week, just to reflect in the situation that you think about this. We have this inner voice that we really work with, so we can really touch it. And the moment we know the future, it will be much more easier to experiment with it, really where to go and decide.
I find it difficult to understand the difference between the shoulds and the ought.
Yeah. Shoulds coming from the past experiences that your mother or from the family, there are some expectation about what you should do.
I should get married before I'm 30.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And also it's much more about the way to future, what you ought to do to really get the point. It's not much connected with the past, but it's much more connected with the future.
Okay.
It's not that, but you will find out during the situation, I ought to do this to really not procrastinate and really make this exam, so I have to learn a little bit. But the truth is that if it's like someone is telling you all the time, so you still operating on based on the past. But in the English, we usually use the same words interchangeably, but it has some little distinguishing where the shoulds come from the psychology point of view, and where the ought to is heading.
Thank you.
So this is about the future. I would like to mention one technique. So maybe I will change the way how we will think about it. Or maybe we will do the task. We will split the teams because it's very nice. We will make it short with this house. Okay. So now just click, you can sit, you can use your sticky notes. And the point is that you have the possibility, the situation is you have the possibility to build a house for your group, like dream house, and you have the designer at the place, and now you need to say to the designer, what do you really want? That's just a question. So
we have worked together
yeah,
in this house.
yeah, it's up to you. What's the budget?
You want to change
Yeah, you
groups,
can-
is that it?
It doesn't matter if you think about the individual house for you, but also you can think it like a group. It doesn't matter if it will be
Like
like
a co-housing.
compound co-housing.
Yes,
Yeah, you can
co-housing.
imagine like that.
Yes.
Co-working. Yeah, and the point is to think what you want and put it on the sticky notes. Whatever, like the one point, what you want to write on the page.
What I want in the house with them.
For myself, find out for yourself probably, or for the group. So it will be big house, and it will have probably the flats, so you can think about it. Your flat is just for you, and you have to write how do you want. So, and we will make it a little shorter to be able to get 20 minutes.
It's wonderful. So definitely you have some nice requirements, some nice description. And this is about the kind of exercise that was that is highly connected with the org design and with the design of information systems. Maybe you know in the information system design there was Felix Herbert Simon, who did in 60s many research, and he was really interested in how to really design the systems in the iterative way. There was a lot of like research studies about the way, about the process, and really think about how we should probably from the past experience, how we should think about the designing systems. Because he brought the experience from the architecture, brought to the designing systems and information systems. So first, what I would like to mention is the concept from Hawkins. It's another psychiatrist that he developed the scale of emotion. And if we have the question that it's about what we want, it's connected with the emotion of desire. So again, if we have the future on the scale too high in kind of excess, it means the desire is too big that we cannot like afford any moment, and it's not unhealthy. And I'm just wondering if it's kind of psychopaths somehow, they really know what they want and they really know how to get it. But some kind of healthy way, it's on the scale a little bit lower. But what's connected with the desire? It's the way how we think about our wants. And he mentioned that natural to people is think about what we want to have, like to possess. It's the most like natural thing for us. It's connected with the present because we think about the future, how we will live, but we think about what will be nice for us, what's really nice pleasure, enjoying the time in this dream house. To have is very close to present, but he said if we shift it a little bit further, we extend toward the future in the longer term, which is about thinking what we will do in the house. And if you find a good designer, he will start with the do. He will not start with to have. Some designers are starting with to have and already start with the picture that it's already imposed to you. So you have cognitive like threat because now you are working with something that's probably on the place. So if we are designing the house, the good question is, what do you want to do in that house?
Scenarios.
Yeah, it's just about, okay, I didn't thought about it. Most families, they do not think about what they want to do there. They even do not know the future, that there is possibility to think about it, what I want really to do in that house. So usually it's from the designer and from these trends, you're supposed to have 2 kitchen or 2 toilets, kitchen, 3 bedrooms for all your kids separately. So there is like the environment, the presence was all around us. And it's imposed on us, and we do not think much about ourselves, what we really want to do there. So it's very, very connected with the doing. You can reflect afterwards because we do not have that much. How much doing you have in your requirements, how much having you have in your requirements. And the last, what Hawkins find out, when you want to extend the future more further, like longer distance, it's about to think about to be. So what do I want to be? What I would like to change, what I would like to really live. So it's much more complicated about how to be in the world. And really, it's very nice for these young people or for the situation to think about to be, to get out of the present trap if we do not have any future. So if there is the people or the organization without any like future thinking, it's good to find them and show them possibilities that they could be something different because they didn't thought about it. They could be something. For example, Starbucks, they know and they try to really develop what they want to be for the people. What's really about being their experience, the coffee on the space, having a nice time. It's much more on the place. It's really why they are still very successful in that moment. And the B is also with the Frankel with this men's search for meaning about setting and deciding for the future. Because afterwards, you can connect the past and present, your experiences, you can value the past, what's not happening in organization. They do not value their past. It's valuable, but they have to find in this past negative, the positive views, what they can value on this organization. And then really go through the present, and the direction is opposite from the future. When we can connect with the future, that we have better tool to prioritize and also better tool to get things that are valuable from the past and present, but also prioritize what is also good, but it needs to be adjusted. But it's much more easier if we are connected with some kind of future to really say what we have to have courage to let go. And this is the biggest challenge for organization because they think that they cannot let go of anything. But there are also like possibilities how to let go part of the organization or some kind of function, because we also find a way if we can split the organization to 2, or there are some ways how it could be managed. So it's not that there is no future, there are some possibilities, but it has to be really explored if it's possible to do it or not to do it. So it's just the concept from psychology. I found it that it's very interesting, and I experiment with that. And what's very nice, for example, for us like BA practitioners, it's about that the more we are connected also with us like BAs or the people who we are in the organization, and we ourselves has the connection with our to be. It's much more easier with us for us to operate in organization. They are really in the negative with these pressures, but we are more released with all the pressure and all the stress. and not consumed that much with the environment of the organization that are really in a negative way with the future, but mostly with the present situation. So I'm not sure, Philip, what time we have, or if we have 2 minutes.
I have a question. Concretely speaking, it's when I think about it for the 2B, what you want to be. If you look at a product organization, that's your vision statement is actually.
Actually, the vision statement is fine, but usually what's happening in organization that the vision, if there is a strong CEO or some strong person, it's usually his vision or her vision, much more often, or there is some vision that it's made together, but it's really not touched with the organization. That's most often because we have to have some vision. They put it on but they are not living the vision. They really are not connected with the organization. And what's the point? What organization design and some professionals are doing? They really work with the cross-sectional, with the organization, and find out, for example, this perspective, this prospection, this future, this vision with these people. They are building it. And at that moment, if the people are committed because it's their vision, it's not someone else's vision.
It's co-creation.
Yeah, it's co-creation.
Vision, mission, and then translating that into your actions into the present.
Yeah, but
and not forgetting from where you came from.
Yeah.
In the past.
But usually it's a hierarchy organization, and this mission vision is done with the board.
Yeah.
But usually it's projected by someone or strong group. But if the strong group is not strong enough to really get it and live it, also to show the example to people. So it's just on the paper, and that's really causing it's our vision about what's to do. So nice example, it's about the Starbucks, because they really try to make some to be, and it's more easily to operate and really follow all these rules with environment, and they are really moving fast.
But should people do this for themselves, or should it somehow trickle down from experts like in management, because it feels like you're saying that there's a mission, let's say it's co-created for the whole company, and so people have trouble assigning a part of the vision to their task to themselves. But shouldn't this be offered with some help from the company? It's about the approach, how the company and usually those who can decide to find them and to really understand what's the role of the future for the organization and for themselves. Usually people are in the past and present, and if they are in the future, it's this stress and pressure because they are too afraid. They really do not know, so they want to be sure they still need something to have. It's not complicated, but from the psychology point of view, the time perspective came, and it has 3 paradoxes. One paradox is saying about that time is influence us, but we are absolutely unaware that it's time and how all these concepts are just moving us in the situation. The second paradox is about these excesses. Because if we find the balanced perspective, we will value past, we will live a little bit to enjoy time, not to be all the time in the work, and to have low fatalistic view that we really still want to plan and to really move, and have some kind of healthy future view. So the moment it's very, very easy to operate. However, if there is some excess on some level, it will have destructive effects. And the third is, to answer your question, that time perspectives is developed based on individual experience along the time. And the starting point for all of us is hedonistic present. Because every children from the research, they are operating in this hedonistic joy fun. I do not have to care about that much about the future, not a lot of, and there is some children that is kind of different, but we are in the present. And then a lot in the past, but we are not
taught much about the future. And if we are taught about the future, it's in education that we are taught in the cause and effect. That means that we are shown what's wrong. So it's again like, okay, future, but it's like we should terrify to make the move, because if I do it wrongly, I definitely have to bear some not very nice consequences. So it's about how we are raised up, where we operate as a people. And the paradox is that it's individual. However, it will definitely influence the collective, like destiny. The Zimbabwe call it collective destiny, where we are heading as a cultures, as a countries, as a towns, because it's a regional government also, as organization, or as small units. Okay, so we are out of the time. So I hope that it gives you some inspiration or just to think about it, because it's abstract concept and it takes time to really think a bit about it. So I hope that you will find some inspiration in this view, and it will help you in your BA practice, in your daily work, to make things much more easier and to really find out the way towards the future.